Hey guys, Death Angel here. I came across this interesting document on DO weaponry. It even includes photos of the experimental vehicles, and it's by Andrew Feckert, specialist in military ground forces from 2018. This one's a little bit more up to date. I'm going to go over it pretty quick. I've highlighted most of it that I'm going to cover already. You can read through the whole thing though. There's a bunch of stuff in here. And you'll see when we get lower, the estimates, the HEL system, the one that they're going to use to mount on Striker vehicles to replace cannons, $82 million. I'll show you. I got it all right here. And this will be in the description as well, as I always do. But as you can see real quick, goes over every single type. I mean, this is nail in the coffin for the bullshit that we're fed. And it goes way back to, we're talking 1960s they started this. Congress has had a long-standing interest in Department of Defense efforts to develop directed energy weapons. There they are again, DoD. DARPA's in here too. The same people making the robots. So how long do you think it's going to take for them to mount a laser to a robot? Because you'll see at the bottom they have, they're trying to make a handheld laser weapon to replace rifles as well. So we'll have laser rifles, and that'll just be great. According to DoD, directed energy is an umbrella term covering technologies that produce concentrated electromagnetic energy and atomic or subatomic particles. A directed energy weapon is a system using DE primarily as a means to incapacitate, damage, disable, or destroy enemy equipment, facilities, and/or personnel. So they're even powerful enough to blow away the buildings, as we've all already seen multiple times. Directed energy warfare, DO, is a military action involving the use of DE weapons. Even though DO didn't exist. I mean, now they're coming out with it, but for 10 years we've been warning you guys. The use of DE weapons, devices, and countermeasures to incapacitate, cause direct damage or destruction of adversary equipment, facilities, and/or personnel, or to determine, exploit, reduce, or prevent hostile use of electromagnetic spectrum through damage, destruction, and disruption. It also includes taken to protect friendly equipment, facilities, and personnel, and retain friendly use of the EMS. With the maturation of DE technology, weaponized DE systems are becoming more prolific, powerful, and a significant subset of the electronic warfare EW mission area. DE examples include active denial technology, lasers, radio frequency, RF weapons that we've already showed, and DE anti-satellite and high-powered microwave weapon systems. And then here's the spectrum again. Well, they claim they're developing it for us. And there's just where we can see, like David Icke says, just a tiny part of the spectrum. But once you go into both the radio spectrum right here, you can go over this chart. This report examines the two most prevalent types of DE weapons, high-energy lasers, HELs, and high-powered microwaves. The HELs are the ones that they zap everybody with. DE can be used as both a sensor and a weapon, thereby shortening the sensor to shoot timeline to seconds. This means that U.S. weapon systems could conduct multiple engagements against a target before an adversary could respond. And here they are talking about putting it on drones. So we'll have drones that, can vaporize anything at the speed of light. And right here, DE weapons could have the potential to preempt enemy use of weapons of mass destruction. HPM weapons in particular could be used to attack WMD facilities that are buried, hardened, or co-located with civilian populations or infrastructure. So it's powerful enough to destroy military hardened facilities. You know what I mean? The reinforced concrete that's really reinforced, that's made to take a missile strike. DE weapons could facilitate new strategic operations, such as disrupting power generation and distribution. DE weapons could be used in selected strategic airstrikes against industrial systems and military infrastructure dependent on electronic power and electronic systems. Effects could range from short-term disruption service to subsystem destruction. Perhaps fundamentally altering the nature of combat and putting other nations at a severe military disadvantage. And here they talk about controlling outer space too. So it's like as soon as we get to outer space, the first thing these assholes are going to do is zap each other. As the most extensive user of space for national security purpose, the United States. All those times they told you they were launching communication satellites, air quotes. And here they talk about making kind of like a, I don't know if any of you guys ever played Command and Conquer, but the ion cannon, this is what they're talking about building. Directed energy armed satellites. Instead of current ground and sea-based kinetic ballistic missile defense interceptors. Solid-state lasers require electricity to operate but generate a significant amount of heat in weapons-grade lasers. Successfully developing practical cooling technologies for solid-state lasers could potentially further advance their military utility. Oh, there they are again. Coordinates with DoD and the services of DE and other lethality matters. So I guess they got a whole project of how to just kill everything. Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA. There they are again. Same people that make the robots. Now this is where they're going to show the photos and the prototypes. The following sections provide background information on selected past Army DE programs, some of which are still ongoing. This information is intended to provide a historical context for other current programs. Tactical High Energy Laser. This is the one I showed you in the other video. I told you I found the real shit, and that was the real photo of one, and here's a finished one mounted on a base. Tactical High Energy Laser, 1996. And there they are again. U.S.-Israeli program. And here's where it successfully shot down rockets and artillery shells. Oh, there they are again, in conjunction with Israel. They just keep showing up. Solid-state lasers, which could be powered by electricity-producing diesel generators. This one mostly everybody knows about. That's the one where they just burn your skin with it, and there's an even bigger one right here. But these were all made 30 years ago. And here's a prototype for a max power system. And all the information in here, I'm just trying to like kind of scroll through it quickly, give you a little preview before you go through it yourself. And I mean, this just appears to be like a little plastic Tonka truck they made as a little prototype. The program involves integrating a 50-watt kilowatt class laser to a Stryker combat vehicle to provide short-range air defense support to Army maneuver brigades. The Army plans to continue development from the fiscal year 2018 through 2021 and transition it to a program of record sometime after fiscal year 2022. Program of record just means that it's ready to go. It's ready to be fielded completely, which it already is. It already has been. And this one right here, the mobile high-energy laser, is a system that permits experimentation and provides the soldier with hands-on experience operating an HEL mounted on a Stryker combat vehicle. It currently mounts a 5-kilowatt laser and was used in exercises in 2017, where it was able to defeat a number of small rotary and fixed-wing UAVs. And that's the Stryker vehicle, and it even talks also about putting a laser cannon on the Stryker vehicles. Here's another one. This one's actually already made. And right here they talk about how they were actually able to hit a drone by blow up a drone by putting it on helicopters. So they're fixing to put them on everything. Helicopters, drones, tanks, strikers. Army officials suggest their next generation combat vehicle could feature an active protection system deploying directed energy to protect the vehicle, as well as a laser weapon which could replace traditional mounted weapons. They already have it. So there goes your, 50 millimeter 50 millimeter mounted cannons, all that stuff, 50 caliber. And they're saying here the Army has about 7 years to advance the laser technology. And then it goes right here to discuss Russia, what they're doing, China, what they're doing. And it says right here, China is actively seeking to field a space-based laser. So all the countries are working on it. But as the other documents have shown, our country and Russia already work together. And they have been the whole time, with greater attack capabilities on their 6th generation aircraft. And I will also put in the picture from Business Insider so you can see. Oh, there they are again, Israel. But anyway, so you can see the effects of it on the ground. You can actually see where the rings impact. And when you read through here, you will see that it says the, I'm trying to remember the one, because there's a lot of lasers in here. The HEL laser can deliver the power in nanoseconds to milliseconds. That's why those houses all burned up so fast. It didn't take them no time. And here Israel is making the Iron Beam program, but the document already says that the U.S. and Israel are working together as well. So it's going to be the same shit. On this Maneuver Fires Integration Experiment, 2017. Is that paradise? Oh, the evidence is there. Why the hell they would test it on their own people is beyond me. But they clearly did, and Israel clearly had a hand in it too. So does China and Russia. And here's the multi-mission one where they're going to field it on the strikers to replace the cannon mounted weapons. 82 million, because it says right here all figures in millions. $82 million, the most money getting put right there. But they still have multiple millions going everywhere. And right here, Congress has played a role in the furtherance of DoD and Army directed energy weapons or efforts. The fiscal year 2017 National Defense Authorization Act called for the following, and then it just goes through here where they lay it all out, the general, the roadmap, the timeline. And I'm just going to keep going down here because I skipped through some of the more boring, tedious stuff. Right here, DoD is responsible for all directed energy. It's the same people every time. And here's the different types of weapons. I can scroll through here real quick. There's high energy lasers, chemical lasers, solid state lasers, free electron lasers. High powered microwaves. I went over that in a previous document. Yeah, and right here, further compounding this is the classified nature of most DoD HPM programs, which makes public and academic examination of these programs problematic. They don't even tell Congress what they're doing, they just send them these little documents. Right here is also very interesting. You'll want to read this. I'm not going to go through every single bit of this. I just read it all already once. But this is how they work. And it explains exactly how these things work. But we were all crazy. And we've been warning and warning, and now look. HPM's ground-based stopping system. Yeah, we know. This is the one. This is the one that they seem to be most focused on. This is the one that got 82 million. Beams generated by Hell weapons reach targets at the speed of light. A destructive beam can travel a great distance almost instantaneously, making it difficult for the target to evade the weapon system. Yeah, just ask the poor souls in those cars that you burned up in seconds. Because look up how long it takes to cremate a human body, and you'll see the temperatures and the time. I think it's 2,000 degrees for 3 to 4 hours. But it happened to those poor souls in seconds. For purposes of terrestrial-based weapons and targets, Hell beams are not affected by gravity or atmospheric drag. This lack of mass frees them from kinematic and aerodynamic constraints, and also means that complex calculations required to determine ballistic trajectories and other flight characteristics of conventional munitions are not required. Just point and click. Hell weapons are extremely precise, which I'm going to show you with the photos. You can see the rings on the ground. And when I splice it and put the photo in here, pay close attention to the rings. Everything inside those rings is ash. Every single ring is the same size and shape. This precision potentially makes it possible to undertake surgical strikes with little to no collateral damage or friendly fire casualties, which is how you can burn down houses in between forests without catching the forest on fire.
Katie!
It was a fucking weapons test. How weapons can be customized to achieve a range of results, lethal or non-lethal, destructive or disruptive. This is achieved by regulating the amount of energy and time focused on targets. Hell weapons can serve as sensors, not only attacking targets, but detecting, imaging, tracking, and illuminating them as well. There's your blue beams. And right here, depending on the Hell type, this is where they're talking about developing a handheld laser weapon to replace the current assault rifle, for example, could also prove particularly daunting when power generation and cooling requirements are factored into development. But they're still doing it, and I guarantee you they'll find a way. HPM weapons can also cause discomfort to humans and serve as non-lethal weapons. But as it said before, they are already lethal. They can already blow right through hardened military concrete structures. Even underground. They can blow right into the ground. They can, you know what I mean? That's how you think, that's what they meant when they're talking about underground weapons of mass destruction, like factories. They're 30, 40 feet underground. It'll blast right through it. HPM weapons can also potentially limit collateral damage to property and friendly fire casualties, making them attractive weapons in situations short of war. Pretty much whatever they want. And that's the end of this one. This one's not too long. Like I said, I did skip over, a few large areas. Covered what I thought was the most important stuff in this one. it will be in the description, and you can go through it as well. Has every single time, every single type, how they work. But you can see how they work. We've all seen how they work. They tested it on us. But for now, that's all. That's it. Document will be in the description, and Death Angel out.